Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is what happens to the stuff after we get done using it. So, like, all of this energy and effort and resources go into making this stuff, and then what do people do with it afterwards? Well, one of the first options that people have is to just simply chuck it out the window, throw it on the ground. Um, and unfortunately, a lot of people do this. So we end up with areas that look like this picture, where there's lots of different things just laying on the ground. Um, so what happens to that stuff? Well, because it's laying on the ground, there's a few things that go into uh, getting rid of it. The sun will shine on it in order to help it go away and break up the bonds between the chemicals that make it up. Um, Little microbes will be coming along and they will be eating on it as well. Um, but you also get the water and the wind and everything eroding it. So, how long does it actually take for this stuff to go away? If I were just to chuck a banana peel out my car window, or an orange peel or anything like that, just onto the top of the ground, how long would it actually take for it to go away? Well, people have actually done studies on this, and it has been determined that it would take 2 to 5 weeks for a banana peel or orange peel to go away if it was just laying outside on the ground. If we're talking about a piece of newspaper, it would take about a year for for the newspaper to totally get to absolutely nothing. Now I want you to think about a piece of leather, like leather off your shoe, leather off of a coat, that kind of stuff. How long would that take to go away? Make a guess. Okay, are you ready to see it? Here it is. 50 years. It could take 50 years if it was just laying on top of the ground and left to sit there. It could take 50 years for it to go away. How about that aluminum can, that pop can that you just threw out your window? How long would that take? Well, you got your guess? Here it is. That pop can would be sitting there for 80 to 100 years before it would fully decompose. How about those plastic bottles? We've talked about those before. Got your guess? Ready? 100 to 200 years it would need to sit there in order to actually get all the way decomposed. Okay? Now, I bet you can't guess glass. I think you guys probably notice a pattern getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You got your guess for glass? Here it is. 1 million years. And the reason why is because sun does not weaken the bonds, bacteria does not eat it or anything like that. What will actually have to happen to the glass is it will have to be completely broken before it would actually decompose. So this is if it's on top of the ground, but what happens to most of our stuff? Well, most of our stuff ends up here in the landfill, and it's dumped on the ground, and then machines move it around and smash it, like this loader here, and here's the other ones dumping stuff out. It's moved around and crushed, then they throw dirt on it. Well, because they throw dirt on it and bury it in the ground, what happens is it never fully goes away. The bacteria can't get to it. The bacteria can't get to it, and they can't live underneath the dirt that far because of the lack of oxygen. Also, another part of it is that it's under tremendous heat and pressure, and the bacteria don't like that. Another issue with this is sunlight can't get down to it, so the sunlight can't do that. Water does get down into the trash and everything, but it isn't enough in order to be able to actually erode it. So what has actually been found is there are people that have done studies where they dig down into a landfill and dig out papers, and they can read them perfectly. They have been sitting in there since the 1980s or 1970s even, and it is a perfectly fine piece of paper. The most anything deteriorates in a landfill is 50%. That is the most that will go away, if that. So whenever we put things into a landfill, it doesn't just go away. It's there. It sits there. Think about all the things that you throw into your garbage cans at home or maybe at practice at sports, or if you go out to eat with your family, think about all the napkins and things that get thrown away. Think about all of that garbage, all the garbage we generate at school, all of the assignments that you, instead of throw into the recycling bin, you throw it into the trash. All of those things go to the landfill, get buried, and they never go away. So that's something to think about as we go to actually reduce the amount of materials that we are using.